What if I told you that the worst decision of your life could be making no decision at all? Michael had everything: a successful company, marriage, respect, but a single wrong choice destroyed it all. Or did it save him? Have you ever stopped to think about how many decisions you make per day? 50, 100, thousands. From what you'll eat for breakfast, to choices that can change the course of your career, your family, your entire life. But here is the truth no one tells you. It is not the right decisions that transform you. It's the wrong ones. This is the story of Michael Turner, an ordinary man who built an extraordinary life based on control, planning, and fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of failure. Fear of being human. And it was exactly this fear that led him to make the mistake that would change everything. But before you judge Michael, I invite you to look inside yourself. How many times have you avoided making a decision? How many times have you chosen the safe path, even knowing it wasn't the right one? How many times have you silenced your conscience with work, with distraction, with excuses? This isn't just Michael's story. It's all of our stories. And what you're about to discover could completely change how you see your own mistakes, your own choices, and your own potential for transformation. So take a deep breath, because this journey is going to hurt, but it will also set you free. Michael Turner believed his life was under control, not perfect, but functional. And for him, that was enough. The alarm went off. The same sound to some time, the same ritual. He got up, walked to the bathroom, and turned on the faucet. The cold water on his face seemed like an unconscious attempt to awaken something that had been asleep for years. While shaving, he noticed the gray hairs appearing. It wasn't age that bothered him. It was the feeling that time was passing faster than his ability to reflect on his own choices. In the kitchen, Emily was making coffee with the care of someone who still believes in the power of kindness and small gestures. She watched Michael in silence, respecting his space, but carrying in her eyes a mixture of love, affection, and concern. "You've been distant," she said, breaking the silence. Michael took a deep breath. He wanted to respond, but he chose not to choose. And there was the first wrong decision of the day. Because avoiding isn't neutrality. Avoiding is a choice. And every choice has consequences. Turner Logistics grew fast. It grew so much that there wasn't time for Michael to grow with it. The glass walls of the meeting room reflected not just the city, but the weight of expectations. Each director carried their own anxiety. Each spreadsheet was a veiled threat. Daniel Brooks entered with firm posture, but a racing heart. He believed in the project, more than that he believed that innovation was survival. While Daniel presented data, charts, and projections, Michael felt his mind closing, not from lack of intelligence, but from excess fear. Fear creates mental shortcuts, and shortcuts ignore nuances. "We need something safe," Michael said, almost to himself. Daniel noticed. His eyes met Michael's, seeking empathy. They found only distance. The decision was made right there, even before it was announced. And here's something crucial we need to understand. Michael wasn't a villain. He was human, too. Human with human fears. With human insecurities. He did what many of us do every day. He chose the path that seemed safer, instead of the path that was right. The conversation with Daniel was short, cold, too technical for something so human. "It's not personal," Michael said, repeating a phrase that no longer meant anything. Daniel nodded. But inside, he felt the ground disappear. As he left the building, he stopped for a few seconds, took a deep breath, thought about giving up, thought about blaming, thought about shutting down, but he chose to move forward. Michael, from the window, watched Daniel walk away. A knot formed in his stomach. His conscience tried to speak. He silenced it with work. But conscience doesn't accept being ignored forever. And here's a powerful truth. Mistakes rarely shout. They whisper. They start as a slight discomfort, a knot in the stomach, a feeling that something isn't right. Michael felt it. Daniel felt Italiano. Emily felt Italiano. But only one of them was ready to listen. At home, The atmosphere was heavy. Emily tried to maintain the routine, but felt something breaking, little by little. "You don't talk anymore," she said. One random evening. "I'm tired," he replied. But the fatigue wasn't physical. It was moral. It was the weight of wrong decisions piled up without review. Emily believed in reconciliation, but she knew it only comes when there's truth. Michael was pulling away not from lack of love, but from fear of facing his failures. And maybe this is the most common mistake of all. Believing we can separate who we are at work from who we are at home. But the truth is, you're one person. And when you betray your values at work, that betrayal comes home with you. It sits at the table. It lies next to you. It whispers in the dark. Michael was discovering this the hard way. The dream returned. The road. The forks. The paralysis. Michael woke up gasping. For the first time, he felt afraid of himself. He sat in the living room, in the dark. He thought about Daniel. He thought about Emily. He thought about how many decisions he had made without listening to his heart. There, in silence, something gave way. The rigidity began to crack. There's a moment in every person's life when the facade falls, when control reveals itself as illusion, when you realize you can no longer run from yourself. For Michael, that moment came at 3 a.m, in a dark room, completely alone. But paradoxically, that's when he began to find himself. Therapy didn't bring quick answers. It brought uncomfortable questions. "Why do you avoid making mistakes?" asked the therapist. "Because making mistakes means failing. Or does it mean learning?" Michael had never thought of it that way. He realized he confused control with security. That indecision was just disguised fear. That guilt wasn't productive. Regret it was self-punishment. Gradually, he began to develop resilience. He learned that accepting mistakes is an act of courage. And here's something society doesn't teach you. Self-knowledge hurts. It hurts because you need to look at parts of yourself you've always avoided. It hurts because you need to admit you were wrong. It hurts because growth always requires the death of who you were. But this is the kind of pain that heals, the kind of pain that transforms, the kind of pain that liberates. Driving to Seattle was one of the longest journeys of Michael's life. Every mile was a reflection. He rehearsed what he would say 1,000 times. All the words seemed insufficient. When he met Daniel, it felt same. But he decided not to run. He said everything, without justifications, without defenses. Daniel listened in silence. There was pain, but also understanding. "I needed to suffer to grow," Daniel said. "But so did you." There, forgiveness happened, not as absolution, but as mutual liberation. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. Forgiveness isn't pretending nothing happened. Forgiveness is recognizing the other's humanity and choosing to release the weight. Michael went to Daniel seeking absolution. He found something greater. Mutual understanding that they were both humans trying to do the best they could. And sometimes, the best we can do still hurts. But recognizing that is already the first step to not repeating it. Michael came back different. More human. More attenti. He created spaces for listening. He encouraged conscious mistakes. He valued people, not just results. When Sarah made a mistake, he saw in her the reflection of who Daniel once was. "The mistake doesn't define you," he said. "What you do after does." The company flourished because the environment changed. Where there's kindness, there's trust. Where there's respect, there's loyalty. And here's life's beautiful irony. When Michael stopped trying to control everything improved. When he accepted imperfection, excellence appeared. When he embraced vulnerability, strength revealed itself. Because true leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to ask the right questions, to admit when you don't know, to grow together with people. Michael transformed his greatest failure into his greatest asset, humanity. Years later, Michael took the stage, not as an example of success, but of humanity. He spoke about fear, about wrong decisions, about learning. The audience was moved because they recognized themselves. "Making mistakes isn't the end," he said. "It's the beginning of whoever decides to grow." The emotion was visible because everyone knew that story was theirs too. And so, through mistakes, the greatest of all achievements was born. Inspiration. Michael's story ends here. But yours is just beginning. So, tell me something. What are you going to do with the mistakes you've already made? Will you carry them as anchors? Or will you transform them into wings? Because here is the truth Michael discovered, and that I need you to understand. Conscious decision-making is about always being right. It's about being present in the moment of choice. It's about considering not just the immediate result, but the kind of person you want to become through your decisions. You see, Michael's life changed not when he made the right decision. It changed when he stopped running from the wrong decisions, when he had the courage to look in the mirror and say, I was wrong. I hurt people. I betrayed my own values. And then he made the most important choice of all, to learn. Assertive decision-making isn't born from perfection. It's born from authenticity. It's choosing based on who you are, not who you're afraid of not being. It's deciding by listening to your conscience, even when it hurts. It's having the courage to change course when you realize you're on the wrong path. Think with me. How many decisions are you postponing right now? That difficult conversation with someone you love, that project your heart asks for, but your fear prevents. That apology you know you need to make. Every day you postpone is a day you choose fear instead of truth. And fear disguised as prudence is still fear. But I understand. I understand because it's scary. Because decisions have consequences. Because making mistakes hurts. Emily knew this when she tried to reconnect with Michael. Daniel knew this when he had to rebuild his life. Michael knew this when he drove to Seattle. They all knew it could hurt, but they chose anyway. And that's exactly where the magic of conscious decision-making lies. When you decide with intention, even if you're wrong, you grow. When you decide with authenticity, even if it hurts, you evolve. When you decide with courage, even if you fail, you become stronger. Because the opposite of a wrong decision isn't a right decision. The opposite of a wrong decision is a conscious decision. And conscious decisions have three fundamental pillars. First, self-knowledge. You need to know who you are, what your values are, what really matters to you. Not to society, not to your family, to you. Michael lost this. He confused success with meaning. He confused control with peace. He confused avoiding with solving. Don't make the same mistake. Second, courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite it. Daniel had the courage to start over. Emily had the courage to stay. Michael had the courage to change. Each in their own way. Each in their own time. But they all needed courage. Third, responsibility. Your decisions are yours, not the economy's. Not your boss's. Not your spouse's. Yours. And when you own that, when you stop blaming and start choosing you, reclaim your power. So here's my invitation to you. Today, right now, in this moment, choose a decision you've been postponing. It doesn't have to be the biggest one. It doesn't have to change your entire life. It could be a phone call. It could be a no you need to say. It could be a yes you're afraid of. But choose consciously. Ask yourself, who do I want to be through this decision? Not what will work out, but who do I become by choosing this? Because in the end, Michael didn't change his life by making perfect decisions. He changed his life by becoming a different person through the decisions he made. And you, will you keep being who you were, or will you have the courage to become who you can be? Because every day is a new fork in the road. Every day is a new chance. Every day you wake up and need to decide, will I choose with fear or with courage? Will I choose the safe path or the true path? Michael chose truth. Daniel chose new beginnings. Emily chose love. And you, what will you choose? Because your life doesn't change when you make the right decision. Your life changes when you consciously decide who you want to be. And that moment is now. Your choices don't define who you were. They create who you will be. Choose consciously. If this story touched you, share in the comments. What decision are you postponing? Let's create a community of people who choose to grow through their choices. And if you want more content about personal transformation, self-knowledge, and conscious leadership, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because every week, we'll explore stories that remind us we're human. We make mistakes, but we can always choose to grow. Until next time.